Okay, good evening, one and all. I'm Bhavi, your host for the session this evening, and I have Sunil as my co-host. We have our speaker, Mr. Rajiv Bajaj.
Hi.
Yes. Yes, so I would like to start the session with an introduction about Indian startups. So Indian startups is 90,000 plus member community. Our motto is to make entrepreneurship affordable for every deserving entrepreneurs, regardless of financial status and geographical location. Next, please. So it's a startup ecosystems bringing together entrepreneurs, investors, partners, and sponsors, which nourishes and nurtures young minds and ideas. Next. So these are our social media handles. You can please log in and visit our pages to have get information about more events and updates. Next. We have special offers where we conduct introductory sessions, webinars, and seminars. We also conduct workshops, one-on-one sessions, conferences. There are challenge series, internships, and virtual networking sessions as well. Virtual networking session among the all is one of the best platform where you can share your ideas, startups, and businesses. Next. And if we also have open volunteering platform, if you're interested to be part of our Indian startup community as a speaker or as a host or sponsors, you can log in. The links will be shared in chat box in short time. Thank you, everyone. So Mr. Rajiv, you can please go ahead with your session. Session is on. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhavi.
Also, let me add, a little bit about Mr. Rajiv Bajaj. He is a past Central Council member of the Institute of Company Secretary of India and past Vice President of Consumer Electronics and Manufacturer Association. He has 3 decades of experience of working with corporates. Currently, he is spearheading as CEO of Bajaj and Bajaj Corporates Chambers, working with a mission to coach and educate future business leaders with modern tools and technique. He is a mentor to many startups in their entrepreneur journey and is currently coaching many business leaders. His legal and financial background with HR exposure makes him unique coach and exceptional knowledge of all the business processes gives him an edge in making learning more practical and interesting. So he has been associated with educational bodies for more than 25 years now and has been teaching leadership, change management, business law, and corporate law and governance entrepreneurships. So we really have a talented speaker between among us, and we can start our session named Startup Time to Transform and Perform. Yes, Mr. Raj.
Thank you so much, Bhavi, for the nice introduction. I think all of us are here to form and transform ourselves into a good, excellent entrepreneur. And I'm sure in these challenging times, it is all the more important that we all prepare ourselves because these challenges of the environment, COVID, the economy, they are also adding to what we all need to do to constantly innovate and perform. So without further ado, I will just run you through my slides, and of course, we can have it more interactive session. The whole idea is that we should discuss how we are going to prepare ourselves in this challenging environment and how we are going to perform in these tough times. So if you look at the, we all know Dr. Abdul Kalam, And he said, and very correctly said, difficulties in your life do not come to destroy you, but to help you realize your hidden potential and power. Let difficulties know that you too are difficult. So I think it's a very powerful statement that we all actually can excel more when we know that there are difficulties, and definitely those difficulties can become an opportunity for us if we all work together and work towards managing that difficulty. Now, let us straight go to what we wanted to discuss today. Now, business transformation, why we should do business transformation for the startups in the startup community. Uh, I have been dealing with many startups. I have actually coached a few budding entrepreneurs. First and foremost thing is a challenge for everyone is the capital. So we need to have a very uh, keen eye on how we are going to manage the capital search and how we are going to present ourselves and our startup to the various investors or the people who are going to, look at us for investment. So I think that is where we need to focus and work on. Of course, the portfolio optimization, because of the situation also, we need to constantly innovate and work towards it. Uh, we have to be agile enough to maximize value for the investor as well as for our startup. So I know that initial stages we all face challenges, but how to handle those and how to actually give the return to the investor, that is where I think the startup founder has to uh, look forward and has to actually work towards. Of course, discipline remains the key, because how you are going to strategically fit, how you are going to price the asset quality, and how you're going to execute your uh, project and create a deal value. Because at the end of the day, we have to create valuation for our startup and for the investor who is investing in us. And of course, managing the supply chain in the most effective way. That's the key, because at the end of the day, it's all about business. We are all starting our business to make money, to be successful, and of course, help others also succeed. Now, let us look at we all of us we talk about COVID-19 crisis, and but let me tell you, this COVID-19 has given a lot of opportunity also to the people who can really see through it. Um, so I have outlined few industries where uh, there are a lot of emerging opportunities. Telemedicine, for example, food delivery. You must have seen a surge in food delivery, although people are not able to go to restaurants and they are not able to have their food outside. So a lot of food delivery apps are getting very good orders. Online learning, for example, I was reading through uh, White Hat Junior's story. That gentleman is also Mr. Bajaj. So he has sold his company to um, uh, another education field guy. So this area is also uh, having a lot of scope. Digital content development, remote work tools, because most of us are working from home or from different locations. Gaming is another big area. I can tell you, gaming is going to have a very big future. Internationally, gaming is getting a lot of attention, and in India also, the new generation is hooked on to gaming. So this is again one area where we can look at. Essential and semi-essential goods manufacturing. This is always a very greenfield thing. Healthcare, technology, and agriculture. This triology is working in a very smart way. So I think all of us we should look at this triology, and a lot of new apps you must have seen have come in, where healthcare sector people are actually trying to build their immunity for this COVID and otherwise as well. So there's a lot of focus on technology, healthcare, and agri products. Big brands in electronic component manufacturing are also shifting base to India. So there are also a lot of startup opportunities there. R&D based pharma opportunities there. Healthcare, of course, automation, and there are, recently a lot of reverse migration happened from the urban areas to rural areas. I think government is also working. State governments are also working. I know UP government has charted a very uh, big plan for making sure that people who have come back to UP, they get the opportunity. Similarly, I'm sure other governments are also working on these kind of projects. So this is an opportunity which can be looked at. Chemical industry is also a lot of localization, and Make in India is in, people are actually getting into that. But let's not, close our eyes on the uh, impact of this crisis. I have brought in a chart which will show, how in 2008, because SARS, similar kind of a thing happened earlier. So at that time, the impact was, household product, the impact was minimum. It was 21% only. And you can see the list. And the food away from home was the maximum hit. And so is, what we visualize now, that people may take time to actually go and eat out. So restaurant business and hotel business and tourism will definitely have a bigger hit. So we all have to work towards how to prepare. I think running the organization is one part, but efficiently running and making sure that when the operations have to be brought down or to even stop, to have further losses, I think that's also a very key decision. We must, define our strategy. There is an example of Fujifilm, if all of you know that. Fuji films kept on producing films when already digital, the revolution was there, and digital
Uh,
cameras. Yeah,
Sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Rajiv. There is some interruption in your voice. Maybe
is it?
yes, it happened twice. So
Okay,
right now it's
okay.
clear. We can
Is
go
okay
ahead.
now? Is better?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So, how we are going to improve our competitive position? That is where I think we, all of us, we have to work on. So, this, uh, I think we all need to strategically improve the situation. And if you look at the short-term impact on the industries, uh, uh, positive impact is going to be on e-commerce. Consumer goods will have a tough time. Oil and gas will also have some sphere, and tourism is going to be the major catastrophic impact. So I think we all need to work on this, and maybe all need to look at our strategy. And in case we have to abandon some market, we must take a call so that we don't suffer in the long run. Now, let us move to the positive part of it. I think we have discussed, I have worked for a Japanese company, so we first look at the negatives and then build our positive on that.
Mhm.
Now, we call it PDCA, which is plan, do, check, and act. So I think planning part is very important. And when you are planning, you must look at all the positives and negatives both. So the main traits which are required by an enterprise and an entrepreneur, I think that's the key takeaway which I want all of you to look at. One, of course, you must have that leadership quality and leadership skill. Even when we have to manage a small enterprise, you tend to have so many aberrations, so many tough situations keep coming. But then you must have obsession to uh, mm, have a success. Of course, perseverance is very important. The customer orientation is again something which we all should look at. You must have a domain knowledge, because if you don't have a domain knowledge, can you can never have Bhavi, something is coming on the screen. Can you have it checked?
Yeah,
What is it?
yeah, please. I'll just
Yeah,
check.
yeah. So you know,
Nothing much, yeah.
yeah. So domain knowledge is very important, and then there has to be core competency. Of course, if you are competent in your subject matter, in your whatever business you are doing, it shows and reflects, and that is when how the people who are going to invest in you, they are actually investing in you. There is a story about I don't want to name the entrepreneur, but there was a big investment, one investment company from US was looking forward to. So this big entrepreneur made a fantastic presentation. His team of people were showing all the flashy things. So that investor asked, but he was a plump guy. So the investor asked after the end of everything. He said, "I have understood the project. I have understood what you are
Mhm.
asking for, but you want me to invest in you. How can I take chance on you? Because if you are, I understand that everything depends and revolving around you. So I think we need to be fit and agile from that perspective also. So investors are looking at everything. They take a holistic view of your enterprise as well as you, who's running the show. And of course, you have to deal with investors. You have to do networking. You have to do mobilization. You have to do business modeling, risk taking, and of course, persuade people to have faith in you and actually make sure that they invest in you. Now,
I agree with you, Mr. Rajiv. I
yeah,
really think this continuous improvement in a startup. We all, young minds, they start the company with all the agileness, but
yeah,
over a period of time, they forget about the continuous improvement which the
yes,
investors are looking
yes,
in all
yes, yes.
areas of their startups. That's a good
Absolutely,
point. Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. So in this story, the plump man started running from the next day, and he was fit as a fiddle. so, sometimes investors also teach you how you should carry yourself and
Yes.
how you should carry your business. So, how's your competitive advantage? I think that is what people look at. Uh, you know, because if you're not knowledgeable and if you don't have the attitude to become successful, you cannot win the people's trust. So, one has to come out of the comfort zone. Initially, of course, you may be less competitive, but at the end of the day, you are going to compete with the big brands, the big players. Startups are normally, they start small, but you should know how you have to come out of the comfort zone, and then you should actually uh, execute your things in a way that you are competitive and you are able to deliver. Now, this is a company value grid. I wanted to give you just a feel of it. Now, if you look at the initial stages of the startup, the foundation time, you are just understanding the market, you are understanding the game rules, you are just understanding the culture and fine tuning your ideas. No? But then you move to the next stage, which is seeding stage. At that time, you need to start networking. You need to create your channels. You need to create your For example, distribution channel, you need to create your people around you who will actually execute the things. Marketing structure has to be there. Value chain needs to be created. Then move to the next level, which is a growing stage, where you have to again do supply and value chain management and enhance your um, overall uh, growth of the enterprise. And then you move to the mature state, where you are supporting the stakeholders, and then when the stakeholders understand that you are making sense and you are actually delivering results, then automatically new investments start pouring in, people start running after you rather than you running after them. So that is how you need to build up. So all startups, I think you need to have a very clear roadmap, and the organic and inorganic growth both have to be managed properly. I was giving an example to an entrepreneur that if you are using a very small pot and you are trying to grow a very big tree in that, ultimately what will happen? The tree will become bigger and it will actually burst the pot from, maybe whatever, size you can imagine. But if you are actually you are aware that how big I want to be, and accordingly you build your foundation, same as with any huge building, so we all sometime, because in India, no, this PDCA we don't follow. Plan, do, check, and act. We sometimes act first and look at the other parts later. I think this is where we all need to understand that we must strategize properly and have the professionals supporting you, so that you have a organic growth and you don't end up facing challenges at the later stage. Now, this is kind of a yeah,
Sorry to interrupt you.
yeah.
So there's something scribbling done on your screen. If you can see on the left side, there is a pen edit option. If you can go and erase, I think it's happened from your end.
My end, okay,
Yes.
maybe.
Oh, you use the eraser maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. I don't know, something
No,
is
change the option to use eraser. The last
okay.
option. Yes.
Eraser is not coming on my screen. I don't know why.
Okay. No
All right.
problem. Guys, we
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
maybe
Okay.
other end it.
Yes, I think the admin guy can do it. I may not be able to do it.
Or you
So,
can share the screen again, so maybe it will go.
Okay. You want me to do that?
Yeah, we
Take
can try.
time. Yeah.
No, I think sir, not from sir side.
It's not on from my side actually.
Somebody did, and whoever
Yeah,
did, whoever done that, just they have to erase. Just,
right. So
okay.
one of
Yeah.
those guys can
Yeah.
even
It's
whoever is the
gone.
host can
It's
take it off.
gone. I think something has happened. Yeah.
It's
Something
gone.
worked.
Yeah, yes. Now okay. I think.
Now, okay. No, it's like I this reminds me of a joke. Yeah, all of you know this scooter, Bajaj scooter, no? so initially you had to tilt it and then kick it again, and it'll start, no? So this is what we did. Just maybe. Uh, all right. So. Let us look at the growth pattern of an entrepreneur. Now, the model details, if you look at the startup, survival, success, takeoff, and maturity stage. Now, it depends on the micro enterprises, medium enterprises, and of course, small and large enterprises. It depends on the size. And if you look at the curve, the innovators, early adapters, and of course, the people. Initially, you get public sector funding. You have to depend on government grants or seed funds. Then definitely you start getting venture capital, and you become stock owner I think you basically end up reducing your load of the loan component on your enterprise and become cash rich. So this is the growth pattern for an entrepreneur. And I think all of us, we should try move in a systematic way to go to the next level. Now this slide gives us, what needs to be done. I think creativity, invention, and innovation. These are the three main pillars for transformation. So we all need to be very creative. We all need to, be very imaginative to put our new ideas into reality, create new idea and concepts, and we need to innovate, for the commercial success of our idea. And of course, it leads to improvement, and of course, we can move to the next level. Now, the innovation sweet spot, if you look at this, it's an interesting chart. We all have desirability as human beings, but that desirability has to be seen from viability perspective. So whether the idea can be transformed into business, or it is workable or not, that we need to look at. Then, of course, the feasibility of that has to be tested. Suppose it is a product, it has to be technologically also checked and tested whether it works or not. And then the integrity part of it and impact of it, how it is going to impact the business or change the lives of people. And of course, that innovation sweet spot is also very important. So the startup entrepreneur should be very clear about what all we need to, where is my innovation sweet spot, and how I need to move forward. Now, I will not spend much time on this slide, but invention versus innovation, we all understand. Invention is something where we are trying to do something, but innovation is when we are executing and actually looking at it and making it economically viable, and make it spread across the organization and bring some change. Because I was trained in change management by an American trainer way back in 2009. I was part of the CFO development program of Panasonic, and that is where I learned the novices of change management. And let me tell you, this is the time, COVID time, where we need to actually utilize all our skills on change management, because the environment has become so dynamic, things have changed so drastically, and all of us, we need to innovate and change according to the situation. Now, why innovate? Let us ask ourselves a question. Of course, one is to improve our quality. We have to create new markets, because if we keep on doing the same thing the same way, we may not be able to expand. Avoiding obsolescence. Now, obsolescence is also one of the major reason for losses in the company, because I came from TV industry. I worked there for almost 22 years. The obsolescence is one of the main culprit in increasing your losses, because your models change, your products change, the public demand change. So all that you have to see and make sure that you do not lose on the you don't create obsolescence. Then of course, you have to extend your product range. You have to reduce your labor costs constantly, improve your production processes, reduce material, reduce environmental damage, replacement of products and services, reduce energy consumption, conformance to regulation, and of course, survive, because survival is the most important thing. If you're not able to survive, you cannot carry on. So you have to, these are the stages for the entrepreneur. So one is you are subject expert, but initial stage you are trying to introduce something. Then of course you have to hack the growth for yourself. You have to have the retention strategy, and you must have the maturity for it. And then you see solutions, and you know the of course solutions will make sure that you don't go down on the curve and be successful as an entrepreneur. So these are the innovation types. I thought, let me just outline them for you. Of course, for product, process, service, channel, value, experience, business model, and the market. So we need to look at all of them. Now, there is a closed versus open innovation. One is basically where it's an internal idea and you're just trying to discuss it internally and just put it in the market. Whereas in open innovation, you have internal as well as external ideas coming in, and you are using external collaborators also to enhance your business, to expand into new markets and create value for yourself. Now, this is the kind of spiral which is built if you are innovating constantly. Of course, you are looking at all the opportunities and challenges. You are generating ideas for yourself. You are developing and testing your ideas, making the case study. This is PDCA, which I have already mentioned. Delivering and implementing, and growing and scaling your business, and then changing systems, which is very important, because at the end of the day, you need to change your systems for betterment and make sure that you reach that spiral in a most effective way. Now, from idea to label. Now, this is what the journey is. So you must put your discover opportunities, put that concept into exploration stage, make it develop that idea, scale it up, and launch it. That is what we all need to do. So if you look at value innovation, for traditional companies, it used to be price and value of the product and features. But I think for blue ocean companies, the companies which are trying to go beyond barriers and who are wanting exponential growth, it is not only price and value for the product, it is value innovation also. That means you constantly keep on innovating, you constantly keep on eliminating waste and reduce your cost, and create and raise value, so that people who are actually utilizing your products, they feel it is a win-win situation for them. So I think I tried to bring in the entire startup story on one slide. Of course, you have to think ahead of the time. You have to visualize what is missing in the world. A lot of new apps have come in to substitute for those missing things, and we all are utilizing. WhatsApp is such a story. Write it down and bounce ideas around. Make a prototype. Show to the people maybe who are around you, so that you can do validation. Because sometimes your idea, you are thinking maybe it's a very good idea, but others may give you some better inputs. So then, of course, you have to literate and promote that idea. Find a co-founder if you feel that you need a supporting hand. Of course, it is always a better idea to have co-founders. Look for funding, launch, and you must let everybody know that you are doing something great. Then maybe expand your idea, create users for your whatever you are doing, and grow. Have a growth target. I was attending a conference where I was a panel speaker, and my co-speaker was from Ola. So I'm naming the company because I found his statement very interesting. He said, we have an internal target of 7% growth on weekly basis. Now you can imagine 7% growth on weekly basis. So if you are targeting something big, even if you are getting 5% or 4% or 3%, you are bound to grow. So growth should be always in your mind, and you should keep growing, and that's the way to succeed. Now, the startup grid and support system, we have Atmanirbhar Bharat is the latest fad. Prime Minister Modi has also talked about a lot of things. He just gave some tax reform measures announced yesterday. But you look at this Startup India is controlled by a department of DPIIT. Then we have Make in India, we have Skill India, we have Stand Up India, we have Digital India, we have Mudra Yojana. So there are many things which are available from government side to give a fillip to the startup ecosystem. It is how we utilize them, how we, and if you're not able to understand, take the help of a professional. That is where I think professionals are required to guide you, to motivate you, and to put you on the right track so that you don't miss out. So of course, challenges are always there. I think we talked enough about challenges, so I skipped this slide. Let us look at quickly why startup failed in India. Now, one, of course, there's lack of focus on consumer and market need. Sometimes, we lose track of that. There is a variable market condition because market condition will keep on changing. How we are adjusting according to that condition, that's very important. Many times the startup guy is only one-man army, so that sometimes is not working fine. So you need to have people around you. Premature expansion, because sometimes you tend to expand too much, but then you are not able to manage your show. So that is also, I was talking about this organic and inorganic growth. And running out of cash is a common problem for all the startups. So how we are going to, make sure that we don't run out of cash, that is also one of the important strategy. And you can use the professionals if you don't know how to manage it yourself. So there are 4 core services for startups. One, of course, business consulting. There is micro consulting also. Business consulting is a holistic view of your project. Micro consulting is you get consultants to get into your nitty-gritties and help you. Business mentoring is also one of the big area, because the mentors out of their experience can actually make you safe from going into the potholes. We all saw that story of a lady who was standing in the middle of the road in Mumbai just to make sure that nobody falls in the that pothole. So professionals play that role. So we don't let the startups face those challenges. They can focus on their own business and whatever they are best at. So this is my advice to all the techies who actually sometimes are facing challenges on the commercial side. And of course, business analysis and outsourcing. You must constantly judge your business and analyze it. And of course, how do we achieve success? That's very important. So I think tips for success are you must have proper relationship. You must have timely delivery. You must be very alert what is happening in the market, what is all coming, and what all is. I give you a very small example. Panasonic, we were producing big music systems in India. But music industry has seen a churning. We have come from listening to music on big systems to everything has come on mobile, and now it's again changing to different modes. So we all need to be alert as to what is happening in our industry and how we should look at our product maybe 2 years down the line, whether it is losing relevance or not, will we be able to sell or not. So all this alertness has to be there to make sure that you don't face the heat in the market. Of course, we need to be updated. So all the time. And if you can't keep track of the updates yourself, have the services of professionals who can actually keep you updated. Understanding the market is also very important. Extending helping hand, because contribution to the society is one very important word, but I think many people they forget that when they get into the rut of their business. So you must extend helping hand to others, and definitely better things will come back to you. So this is one of the mantra which I believe, and maybe I'm sharing it with you. uh, Maintain your balance, because at the end of the day, it is your business, it is your story. You have to make sure that people like this story, and people talk about this story, and they actually value the story. So I think that is where all startups need to focus on. And know your client. We all have heard know your customer. If you don't know your client, if you don't know your customer, if you don't know the person who's actually utilizing your product or services, then you are going to face challenges. So you must have the direct connect with your client and the customer to make sure, and keep on doing that check as to where do you stand, how do you, how your product stands and how your services stand, so that you can change your direction in case quickly if something is wrong or something is not right. So you must do things which you think you cannot do. So that's the mantra for success, and I'm sure all of us understand this. So I close my talk with this acronym: don't limit your challenges, challenge your limits. Because at the end of the day, I think it is very important that we keep on challenging our limits, and we keep on having uh, that kind of surety that we are going to have success. If you are going to have some doubts, or you are going to even show to your team that you are a little shaky, definitely that will shake the entire team. So as a leader, it is very important that the person who is a startup entrepreneur must actually always be confident of the project. And in case I shared a slide on strategy. In case you conclude and you do a research that, look, my product is no longer going to be successful, quickly take a call. No need to procrastinate and keep on thinking कि मैं बंद करूं मैं करूं. All that, we need to come out of the rut, and we need to actually take a call that if things are not going to work out, and we are very clear that this industry is now facing some particular challenge, which is very big one, better to divert your business to something which is actually more innovative, or change the direction of your business. That is my message. I think I'm quite like a Japanese company guy, on time in my discussion. So I would like to hear from you guys, and we can discuss more about how we can in these challenging times transform ourselves and have more value addition, so that this Indian startup the platform which we have, how we can utilize it more, how we can better engage with each other and help each other, so that we all become successful. At the end of the day, I think we need to it's an Indian startup, so we have to make sure that Indian businesses, Indian startups become super successful, and we all grow together. So I'm open to questions.
Very true, very true. Thank you, Rajiv sir. This is really true that the hope and confidence in a founder, a startup entrepreneur keeps him going ahead with the challenges
Yeah.
and shows his leadership's quality. And yes, it was a wonderful session talking about the whole startup journey. And yeah, you are very beautifully portrayed about the Japanese methodology of PDCA. Like you
Yeah.
have to plan at every
Yes.
point, you have to go on planning, research about your clients, customers whom you are going to serve, then execute and keep a check on your product. What is the need? There are any other needs where I can innovate and implement
Yeah.
and act accordingly? That is a right, truly real gem of the knowledge to share. Thank you, Mr. Rajiv. So
Yeah.
now we have a few questions from our
Sure.
participants. We'll take them one by one.
Sure.
We can have our participants talk as well. We have Shantanu has a question. Shantanu, can you unmute yourself and ask your question? Let us have an interactive session. Shantanu, you're there?
He can't talk right now. He just messaged.
Okay. Okay, so I'll take his question. He has, okay, Shantanu, I have a one. Okay, he's currently working on an online travel platform for bookings, and all it is similar to MMT, Booking.com, and many more
Okay.
giants, those
Okay.
who already exist. But he has a little better plan. He has a good, it has a good future, he guesses. But the thing is, as you said earlier, that travel industry is hit hard with many things, survive
Yeah.
until it revival. So he's asking about the sustainability about the travel industry, whether he should go ahead with his plan of action and ideas.
See,
So
in the short run, travel industry is definitely going to have many challenges. We all know that uh, people are too scared, but uh, I'm sure things are going to improve. We are all talking about vaccination coming in, and people are going to once again be back to normal. So I think my suggestion to him is go according to the situation. You should try to, you know, cautiously move forward, but build yourself for future. If you really have a good idea where you can give a challenge to the big apps or big travel companies, definitely there is always a room for new business if you can really innovate and give consumers something unique. You know? So and I think short travel or the maybe the pilgrim kind of religious travel, that will maybe sustain or will bounce back more earlier than the luxury travel. So you have to look at that part.
okay, hope this has answered you, Mr. Shantanu. If you have any further question, please write in the chat box.
Yeah.
We have another question from Sunil George. He's asking about starting an idea. He has an idea of starting a micro enterprise in Coimbatore, and he wants to know perspectives about the same.
Okay, micro enterprise in any particular field or
No, actually, I have not decided actually how prospective it is. Just to know that.
any good idea, Sunil, is always the first and the foremost I think win is that you have decided that okay, I'm going to have my own enterprise. No, so many people, they cannot even take that step forward. So, but my advice to you is that once you have taken that call, you do your own market research and do the idea validation. As in my one of the slides I mentioned, talk to the people who are near you, who are surrounding you, and take their feedback. And based on that, take a holistic view of whatever project you are thinking, and if required, take professional help, because sometimes we people that we don't understand the importance of professional health. But I always say that we all own cars and vehicles. We always make sure that if the service is due at 5,000 kilometers, we send that for the service. But we do not do our own personal health service, as well as when we are running an enterprise, we don't want to spend on periodic check by some external
Okay.
expert or something. So
Okay.
have that external help.
Okay.
Surely, if the idea is good, I'm sure you have already taken a decision to look at it. I think my today's presentation will give you more ideas how to structure it. No?
Sure. 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 Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. So we have another question. Meanwhile, we take questions. There is a poll announced in the chat. Please, I would request all the participants to vote in the poll. And yeah, so we have another interesting question from Tanumay Mazamdar. He's asking, which is better option as co-founder, old friend with less knowledge on business or new unknown person with sound business knowledge?
Business knowledge for sure. At the end of the day, we all have our own challenges. No, I know friendship is sometimes important, but in business, sometimes it is good to be very strict and straight and very professional in your approach. But of course, do the background check about the integrity of the person, because sometime that becomes a challenge. You must your homework properly, and I'm sure knowledgeable person is any day better.
Right, sir. So even this was one of my questions, that nowadays there is some something like solopreneur,
Yeah,
a
yeah.
whole person running the startup. Is it a wise, according to you, is it wise to have only founder running the whole show, or one man show, or you should really look for some co-founders or knowledgeable people in his team?
I think one of my slides I mentioned that. See what happens. We all if we have to have a growth pattern, and we need to make the tree bigger. No, if you want to have a small pot with a small plant, bonsai plant, we are happy with that. Okay, you can do it yourself. No, you can be a gardener. You can add manure to it. But at the end of the day, if you want to make it a big tree, you need to have some professional people supporting you. You need to have co-founder. You need to have a team with you, so that your execution. See what happens when you are solopreneur. No, your whole energy goes into the execution part. Uh, the leader, or the person who's leading the things, he should be more on the planning part, and visualizing part, on making sure that the enterprise is running properly, checking the operations. You should, if you are doing it yourself, you don't get time to actually do that PDCA wala check jo hai, you miss that, and
True, true.
then you face challenges. I don't think that's a good idea. It depends on the project. No?
Right, right. And of course, we do have mentors like you to guide us, even if we are
Anytime,
running solo
anytime,
show.
anytime.
Good, good. Okay, so, and yes, we have 5 more minutes to take questions. And as you follow Japanese methodology, we'll try to put up on time as well.
Yes, yes. I'm trained
So
for
yes,
that.
we can take one.
Yeah.
Great. Even I'll henceforth do. So yes, I'll take up one more question from Raj Davande. He says, do you think I begin drop shipping in India?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not a bad idea. I think this is a concept which is very well understood in internationally, and I'm sure we'll have a good scope. Yeah. Mr. Agarwal is there on. I can see him. Yes. Yes, sir. Good to see you. You have to unmute yourself.
Done.
Yes, sir.
Now, am I speaking?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
listening.
Yeah, yes.
Rajiv ji, congratulations for a wonderful presentation.
Thank you, sir.
But one thing I want to say,
Yes, sir.
it is not challenges today. Challenge was when I was born. Challenge was when I grew up. Challenge
Yeah.
is today, and challenge will remain when I die. Challenge in life is always there.
Always there. Yes.
Somebody just now asked and you talked how to select an item.
Yes.
You know, while doing the job as a company secretary, my only son said, "Naukri nahi karenge," and he has gone to college. What do I do? Prepare for him. What do I do? So I search. I talk to people, walk on the road, talk. Somebody said, "आपका बेटा chemical engineering करने गया है, तो chemical unit लगाओ." अरे भाई तो क्या लगाओ? So ultimately, you have to scout, you have to search, and there's a challenge finding. I got somebody, I found it and done it. Got meeting the challenge every day.
Sure,
I only want to emphasize on that word. Every moment of your life is a challenge.
Of course.
And you have to ready to accept that challenge and react to it in the best possible manner.
Agree with you, sir. Mr. Agarwal, let me share with all of you, has very successfully set up a unit next to us in Ghaziabad and running it very, very successfully. And he is a entrepreneur and a professional both. So inspiration for all of us. Great to have you on this talk, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, Rajiv. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Agrawal sir. Thanks. We're glad to have you. And you rightly said, challenges with the growing science and technology, challenges for us is now at ease. It is not as difficult as in your time it were. Yes, it has definitely, technology has eased our case of facing challenges. So I would thank everyone for participating for such a wonderful event. Thank you, Mr. Rajiv, for such an insight on startup journeys and transformations. And I request participants, if they have further queries, they want to get in touch with Mr. Rajiv, they can email us, get in touch with us. We can set up one-on-one sessions with Mr. Bajaj. Thank you everyone for
thank you, Bhavi. I would also like to say that I'm open to any kind of support you require, and you can get in touch with the Indian startups or me directly anytime. It'll be great to support all of you. Thank you so much. My numbers and my mail ID is shared here. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Raj.
Thank you. Thank you very much.